Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another PBALC live stream. It's been a while, but we're so grateful to be back on the air. Our focus for this month is safety literacy, and we are so grateful to have Jesus Castro from the American Red Cross here in the Permian Basin to tell us a little bit about all the things that American Red Cross does for the community. All the services that they provide, all the branches that they have, all the training and disaster preparedness and safety curriculum that they do, because there's so many people here in just across the United States that don't really understand what the American Red Cross does. So it's important that that we let our viewers and students and community know all the great stuff that American Red Cross is doing. So welcome, Jesus. We're so happy to have you.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, absolutely. So let's start with tell us a little bit, give us a little bit of an basic overview of the American Red Cross, specifically the American Red Cross in the Permian Basin, and how the regions are divided within Texas.
Okay. So good morning. I'm going to try to give you a brief or a summary about the Red Cross. I have been with the Red Cross for 5 years and I'm still learning. Okay. So the Red Cross here in the Permian Basin, the Permian Basin chapter have covered 23 counties. So we cover a huge area in Texas. The American Red Cross is divided in the nation in 6 divisions. Inside those divisions, we have the Swarm Division, the Southwest and Rocky Mountain Division, and have 11 states. In those 11 states are the great state of Texas. So Texas is divided in 3 regions. North Texas region, Central and South Texas region, that's our region, and the Texas Gulf Coast region. So Texas is a huge state. It's one of the biggest states of the United States. And like other states like New York, Florida, and California is divided by multiple regions. Other regions are formed by few states, but the state of Texas have 3 different regions inside it. So we have 83 counties and 6 chapters. As I mentioned, we are the largest chapter in counties, but in population we have around 500,000. No, and half of that population is focused in Midland and Ector counties. So the Red Cross have different branches. No, the Red Cross is part of an international federation. No, we have the International Federation of Red Crosses and Red Crescent Societies, and we have 7 principles that we share with all the Red Crosses around the world. And the Red Cross identify in each country what are the services that we should provide. So we have three major branches. No, training services, which are the ones who provide those CPR and first aid classes. Biomed, which provide blood drive and have a different blood services. We have around 40% of all the blood in the United States, and we work closely with huge organizations like the Cancer Association. We provide different kind of blood. So we have a huge storage of blood. No? So if you have a rare type of blood, the Red Cross is going to help you to find that blood. Okay, so those are services that Biomed provide, and the humanitarian services where I work. We have 2 huge lines. No, we have disaster psycho services and service to the armed forces. Okay. So we mostly do two important things. Establish communications between the military personnel and military families, emergency communications, and the disaster relief operation. We run shelters. Okay.
Right.
That's our two goals. So I'm disaster program manager in the Permian Basin. So I'm in charge of the mass care program and the disaster action team program. No, the most
So,
common
Jesus,
disaster.
so just to re-emphasize, Texas is huge, and the American Red Cross of the Permian Basin serves a huge area.
Yeah.
So, and know that, let the community know also that, there's, the American Red Cross relies on volunteers, just like many nonprofits do, to serve all those three branches that you talked about. So let's go over those three branches that the American Red Cross offers. You said training. So under that is like babysitting classes, caregiver classes, lifeguard classes. And I know you mentioned before we went live that unfortunately those classes right now are postponed due to COVID, but you're hoping that you can revamp those soon once you get some instructors trained. And so a lot of people don't realize that the American Cross offers these type of classes and workshops for the community, the babysitting classes, caregiver classes, CPR classes, lifeguard classes. Like I mentioned, they are right now a little bit postponed, and hopefully that we can, by the end of this year, COVID will be a bad memory, and
Yeah.
we can get, the American Red Cross can start offering those classes again. And the second branch that you mentioned was biomedic, which is the blood drives and blood donations and things like that. And you have American Red Cross has a huge storage of blood. So I don't know if people can donate blood through the American Red Cross. Is that a possibility?
Here in the Permian Basin, we do not collect blood.
Okay.
There's a lot of regions where we do not collect blood, but we have blood drive around the state. No, in North Texas we collect blood, and we have blood drive sometimes in Austin or Bryan, and they are part of the Central and South Texas region. No,
Okay.
so the
So,
Red Cross.
Jesus, if somebody were here needed blood, they cannot go to the American Red Cross in the Permian Basin, right? Or would y'all be able to find that blood? How does that work? How does that process work?
If we have if the hospital is our client, we provide the blood.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So not because the blood is not collected in the region, the region is not going to receive the blood. Is that there's a the people donate blood and is free. Now we got the blood for free, but collecting the blood has their cost. No, it's not a free process. So we have clients, and our clients are hospitals, and we can provide that blood. No, so as I mentioned, some people have a rare type of blood, and the Red Cross have this huge network where we can find that blood. So that's why we do not have blood collecting or blood drive in every single city, but it's possible that we can provide that blood. As I mentioned, we have 40% of all the blood in the United States.
Okay.
It's the percent of the blood collected.
Okay, got it. So then the third part of branch is the part, the branch that you oversee is the humanitarian, which is the disaster preparedness. And a lot of people know the American Red Cross as being that, whenever there's a tornado or a hurricane, the American Cross has a group of staff and volunteers that go in and help, the community. So tell us a little bit about the disaster preparedness program that you oversee.
Yeah, so I belong to the disaster cycle services. So we take every disaster have their own cycle. So the cycle is preparedness, response, and recovery. So the first cycle or the first part of the cycle preparedness, we have community preparedness. So we start with kids. We have a youth preparedness program. We start with kids of 4 years old to 11 years old. We have two programs for kids, two presentations. Prepare with Pedro. This is kid from 4 years old to 7 years old, and kid my pillowcase project, which is for kids from 8 to 11. Those two programs are to prepare kids on how to be prepared for disaster, how to build their own emergency kit. And the pillowcase project is just that. Is we gave the before COVID, no, sadly, COVID has changed a lot of things. We gave the pillowcase to the kids in each presentation so they can start building their own emergency kit.
Okay.
Then we have the adults presentation, the Be Red Cross Ready presentations, where we have a lot of disasters. Now we have a lot of different presentations. We start with how to build your own kit, and then we go to the disasters. And not only hurricanes and tornadoes, we have
Fires.
we have home fires, we have winter storms, we have heat wave. We have different presentation. We have, I think, we have over 20 different presentations. So
American Red Cross has been busy this year in Texas.
yes. No, we have a blizzard last February, and that was really unexpected, right? So a lot of people they were not thinking about a blizzard in the whole state. Right. In February, and we respond. No, we had a lot of fires during that blizzard. Okay, and we were able to help clients remotely. So even from the Permian Basin, we had volunteers who helped people in Austin and in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So sadly, people were under the snow and their apartments were on fire. Right. We respond to fires like every 30 minutes. There's a home fire in the United States. So we have the home fire preparedness campaign where we install free smoke alarms in the homes of our clients. So if you don't have a smoke alarm, you can contact me or your local Red Cross. No, depends on where you are watching us, and we can scale that installation. We can install up to 3 smoke alarms. They are battery powered, and they have a 10-year warranty. No, thanks to that program, the Red Cross have helped to save around 875 lives. No, since the program started, we already installed more than 2 million smoke alarms in the United States.
So Jesus, talking about the importance of having a smoke alarm, and just you talk about that and talk about the importance of people being prepared for emergency situations. I know there's so many people out there. That's just in the back of their mind. They're like, I'll never have an emergency situation. I don't need to worry about that. Just talk a little bit about why the American Red Cross has these programs and workshops, and the importance of people being prepared for emergency situations.
Okay, so how long do you think? How much time do you think you have to get out of your house if you have a fire in your home?
I would say less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, you have around 2 minutes. Okay, depends on the structure, but it's 2 minutes. So there's not too much time to think in 2 minutes, right? and that's why a lot of people die, because they are not prepared. They don't know what to do in their minds. They don't have something. No, they just don't know what to do, and that's why a lot of people die trying to save something, try to get out of their home, or they just panic. No, uh, that's why we are trying to continue this home fire preparedness campaign. So I mentioned every 30 minutes the Red Cross is responding to a home fire in the United States, and there's a lot of people who die on fires every single day. So, uh, so from 2 million smoke alarms and a lot of thousands of homes that we made safer, we were able to save 875 lives. No?
So
And
what about let's say that like during the winter storms that we had in Texas, you know, you mentioned that you teach youth and adults how to prepare kits. But a lot of people just, they're like, oh, I'll never need any of those kits. Why do you think it's important that people have those kits, emergency kits, and what should people have in them?
yeah, just being quick, meds. You should have your meds. You should have some batteries, a radio if you can, power banks. No, just to keep your phone charged. Probably you're going to have service, probably not. So if you have a small radios where you can just listen to news, just to be informed. Weather, a little bit of food. We always said that every kid should have enough supplies for 3 days. Okay, and each kid, you should have one kid per family member, not one kid per family. No, so you should have your own, and every person living with you should have their own. Um, Sometimes we don't have even a candle. Okay, we don't have a flashlight. It's something that you should have just to move around your house.
Yeah. Because it's just during the winter storms, Texans were completely unprepared for it. There were
Yeah, so
so many that were completely unprepared.
yeah, it's something that you can have a backpack with your the essential. No, and when I mention the essential, it's the essential for you. Okay, so even if you smoke, you should pack cigarettes. Okay, some people, because it is part of your life, it's part of your routine, and you are not going just to quit smoking because there's a disaster. No. But people doesn't think about that. They uh, they think, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to buy everything in the store. Yeah, but you are not able even to cross the street to go to the convenience store. So and everything is closed. So the essential for you, meds. Um, if you have any special a special diet, you should have that in your backpack. Now, if you go to a shelter, probably you're not going to find your special diet. No, so it is things that you should have with you, because it's your own life. No, nobody knows you better than you. So it's just that uh, the essentials that is going to give you enough for 3 days. No, in 3 days is mostly the time that you will need, or the agencies and the government and all the organization will be able to reach you. No? You will need to be prepared just for that, just to have enough for until the help came, or the cavalry arrive.
Okay. And so speaking of the cavalry arriving, how soon does American Red Cross implement, let's say that there was a big tornado, I'm just picking on Big Spring, and to how soon will American Red Cross be able to implement help to the community?
Okay, so for a simple disaster, no, a home fire, we should try to reach the clients between the first 2 hours. No, Then bigger disasters like tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods. Depends on the situation. Most of the more than 95% of the American Red Cross workforce are volunteers. So and we are humans, no. So we are not going to put anybody in danger. So we are not going under a storm. If the road is covered in snow, we are not going to drive. If the tornado is still spinning around, we are not going to send our people. No, we are going to send people when it's safe. So that's why we have an emphasis on the emergency kit, because we want to help the people as soon as possible. But sometimes the situation is
Doesn't allow it.
available. No,
Yes.
it's dangerous outside. No, we are civilians. We have our vehicles, but we are not the army. We don't have tanks or vehicles prepared to some environment. So uh, we try to reach people as soon as possible. We do preparedness or readiness to position supplies in different counties. Like here in Midland or in Odessa, we have our partners, the fire departments, the emergency management coordinators. We have supplies so they can open the shelters, so people can go and look for shelters. But uh, every disaster is a whole new story. No, we are going to try to reach our client as soon as possible, but sometimes it's not possible to reach them. No, so we will need 1 or 2 days. We need to wait until it's safe for our workforce to to contact the clients. Now we are using other methods, phones, video conference, so we can have contact with our clients faster. But when the technology fails and we need to do face to face, yeah, we are going to do it when it's safe for our people, no, our workforce, and for the clients. Because if we are not going to tell a client, yeah, just wait for us there, and the tornado is spinning, or we have 6 feet of water, yeah, wait for us there. No, we are not going to do that. So that's why the preparedness program is so huge, and we try to teach the community how to be prepared, because there's part of the response is how the clients react. No, how well they do. No, if they just go panic and they just go around, we cannot find them. They put themselves in harm's way. No, so that's how fast we can work.
Right. And so it's also very important for the community to know that the American Red Cross is across, the nation. They do have paid staff, but they mostly rely on volunteers to
Yeah.
help with all these things. So I know our organization, we rely very, very heavily on volunteers, and we just tell everybody the amount of classes and services that we can provide will depend on how many volunteers that we have. So I imagine it's the same thing for the American Red Cross as well. So it's important that the community knows that.
Yeah, we have around 15 paid staff, we have 15 positions in our region. So we cover 83 counties with around 15 paid staff position and around 1,000 volunteers. So, but right now we even have open positions in our region. No, so if in the ideal situation, no, is that we have all the positions covered and that we have 1,000 active volunteers. No? But that's not true. In the last blizzard, my team here in the Permian Basin have most of them, because not all of them, they have power and internet. I live in Midland. I never lost power or internet, but uh, I think 75% of my team, no, my pay staff team, they didn't have power or internet, so they were clients as well. And
Right,
some people don't think about that. No,
right.
I come from the Puerto Rico region, and I was working during the Hurricane Maria, and all the region, all the pay staff, and all the volunteers were clients. So nobody had power, nobody have internet. So we are part of the community too. So
Right.
we never have enough staff, no enough workforce,
Mhm.
because we are one Red Cross. We can ask for help from other regions for the entire divisions or for the entire nation. And if you are part of our workforce and you get trained, you can support disaster relief operations cross nation. But again, that requires time because people needs time to drive, to fly, or to do their necessary arrangements to get here.
Right.
But
And
we are
so,
never have enough workforce.
Jesus, let's talk a little bit about workforce and the volunteers. Do you, Red Cross provide, I'm assuming, training for the volunteers and how, what's
Yes,
that process look like?
we are. We have a huge structure. Uh, this is not a one time, one day, few hours thing. No, or volunteers are really committed to the organization, or volunteers are trained, are got experience, are promoted, and some volunteers have high leadership roles. Okay, so it's common for me get new trainings, and the instructors are volunteers. Okay, and they have been volunteers, been volunteer for decades. No, I have volunteers who have been with the Red Cross for 30 years, since
Mhm.
they were kids in the Red Cross clubs, because we have clubs in the schools. That's something that we can do, and they grow. They still remain in the organization. They grow until they are board members in our chapters. So
Mhm.
is very important for the people understand that the Red Cross volunteers, they are really committed, and we have a lot of curriculums. No, we kind of have like a college, for
Mhm.
volunteers.
Yeah.
You pick your curriculum, you get trained, you are promoted, and your graduation is going to be the disaster.
Yeah. So just, just to ease everybody in the community, all the volunteers that help with American Red Cross are very highly well trained, and so they don't have to be concerned about, will these volunteers know what they're doing? And
Yes.
so okay, so let's say that you're going into a town that's had a disaster. What and it's safe for staff and volunteers to go in there and help the clients. What does the Red Cross do? Let's say that I'm a client and I've had a tornado and my house was destroyed. What is
Yeah.
the Red
So
Cross going to help me with?
the first team is going to be the damage assessment team. So they are going to do the assessment, and they are going house by house, trailer by trailer. They're going to identify, if this RV park have 100 units, how many of them they were destroyed. They have a major damage, minor damage, or they were not unaffected. No. So we can just classify the damage, and that will give like an overview of how much assistance we need to give, and how many clients we are going to have. And we are the only ones who provide financial assistance. No, we can talk about tornadoes and hurricanes, but it's simple things like home fires. Nobody look at them, and they are uh, part of our daily basis. No, so we are the only organization who provide financial assistance. So we can provide yourself for food, clothes, and if it's necessary, a hotel room. Okay.
Okay.
If the something like an RV park of 100 unit, we can open a shelter, and we are going to provide that shelter for clients until we can just give them a recovery plan. So, and in a shelter, we need to provide snack 24/7, and 3 meals per day. And we provide mental health, spiritual care, health services. That's some services that we provide to our clients. And that happens in every fire call. We provide those services. If people lost their medication, if people lost their glasses, we can help them. And if people are having crisis due to disaster, we have mental health professionals and spiritual care professionals. Now, we have volunteers who have professional credentials and license, and they are trained in the Red Cross way as well as in their field. No, her services are nurses and physicians. Mental health are counselors, social workers, psychologists. Spiritual cares, they are chaplains, pastors, ministers. So we provide training with the Red Cross, but we have requirements for some special topics, and we provide that assistance totally free. Okay, no one in the Red Cross is going to ask for any kind of money for those services, but it's just due to disaster. We are not going to give you anything like a prescription or anything or treatment. It's just due to disaster, and we are going to help you to get back in your track and get back to your routine. Those are those services that the Red Cross provide in a disaster.
Okay, perfect. So in summary, because we're about end of our time here, the Red Cross has 3 major branches. They have training, humanity, and biomedical.
Humanitarian services and
humanitarian services. So the training or classes like CPR, babysitting, lifeguard, et cetera. Humanity is disaster preparedness plans and disaster presentations and help. And then the biomedic is obviously the blood donations. So those are the 3 major services that the American Red Cross provides. And if you ever need assistance from the Red Cross, we'll have your website and Jesus.
Yeah, you always can call 1-800 Red Cross. The 1-800 Red Cross number is 1-800-733-2767. You can call and notify a disaster if you have a home fire, or don't forget service to the armed forces. We establish emergency communications for the military families and military personnel. It's not my area, but I always mention it. No, my father is a veteran, and probably you have a military personnel in your family. So if you need to establish an emergency communication with them, the Red Cross can help you too. Okay.
Perfect. So
you can call the 1-800 Red Cross.
Perfect. And we're going to have that number in the comments after the live stream. This was great information, Jesus. Thank you so much for joining us today. And this is great information. And like I mentioned, we'll have Jesus's contact information, the 1-800 number, and the American Red Cross of the Permian Basin. All those links will be in the comments if anybody has any questions. Questions.
Yeah, if you want to schedule a Be Red Cross Ready presentation, we have already rating presentations for organizations, businesses, or how your organization can be more prepared for emergencies. We have it's impossible to cover everything the American Red Cross do in just 30 minutes. But if I spark your curiosity, just contact me, and we can talk a little bit more about the Red Cross.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jesus, and we'll see everybody next time.
Thank you. Stay safe.